Hi everyone, this is Anne from Lolli and Grace, and welcome to this tutorial that is all about how to transfer a design onto your fabric using your home printer, but the key here being on this one, how to transfer a design that needs to go into a hoop that's larger than 6 inches. So an 8-inch hoop, for example. Now I have a whole other tutorial that is more in depth, takes a little bit longer, more in detail about how to use sticky label paper and your home printer to print a design onto your fabric. But in that video, I mentioned that one of the things that is constraining about that method is that you are limited to hoops that are smaller than 8 inches, like a 6-inch hoop, because of the width of your sticky label paper. Well, with this method, you can use those same techniques, but with a little extra added thing that we need to do first. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about exactly how to use the sticky label paper. You can go watch that video. It's got a lot of detail in it, so go do that. But here's what you need: a piece of 8.5 by 11 sticky label paper and your fabric that you are going to transfer the design onto. And later on you'll need your hoop, of course. So here's what I've done. I have already taken my fabric and I have peeled off the back and I have stuck this onto the back of my fabric. All right, I smoothed it out so no wrinkles. All the edges are very securely stuck down. Then I have started to cut my fabric on this end and on this end, top and the bottom. I have trimmed the fabric right along the edge of the sticky paper, being very careful to make sure that I don't have any like little loose fibers on either end. But here's the difference. On the sides, I have left about 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. All right, that's the difference. Doesn't have to be exactly 2, but that's going to give you enough extra fabric to stretch into your hoop. And then one other supply you're going to need, other than your printer, of course, is going to be some clear tape. And you can try using masking tape, but when I did masking tape, it was a little too thick and it kind of bogged up my printer a little bit. So I found it safer to use this kind of tape because it's thinner. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start out, I'm going to pull a long piece of this clear tape and I've ironed my fabric to make sure there's no wrinkles, and I'm going to put that tape right along the edge just like that. Now I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to make sure that I have folded this over so that it's right pressed up against the edge of the paper, and I'm going to stick that down and make sure it doesn't have any wrinkles in it. Now I can come back and I can get another piece right over here and I can tape this down right along the edge of the paper, and I'll turn around and do this side like that. So now I know you can't see it because that tape is transparent, but this fabric is covered all the way from this end all the way to this end with no gaps. Now before we print this, there's one last step that's kind of optional, but for me it's kind of a better safe than sorry step, and that is right here along this side and this side on the edge of your paper that is going to be the leading edge of your paper that goes through your printer. I don't want to leave that with those raw edges where it might get caught on the rollers in my printer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape just as long, it only goes from here to here. So I'm going to very carefully line that up with the edge. This is the fabric side. This is the label side, the back side, but it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to seal up that edge, like over here. See how it's loose on, how the fabric kind of, you've got a hole right there. I'm just sealing up that hole basically. Now that I have my fabric adhered to my label paper and everything taped up. It's nice and smooth. Now I can go run this through my printer. Just make sure that you know which edge of the is the leading edge that you taped up here. You don't have to do the other side. Just do the one that's going to go into the printer first. But now I'm going to go print off my pattern. I have now run this through my printer. You can see the design printed onto the fabric. Now all I need to do is to remove the label paper. I ran that through my printer, no problems at all, no paper jams, because I was very careful when I taped it up. And you can see that I had plenty of fabric to stretch this in my 8-inch hoop, which actually this is a little bit larger than 8 inches, so I had plenty of fabric. Then I even had enough extra that I could trim the edges with my trusty scalloped scissors, which I do for almost all of my hoops that are going to stay in a hoop because it prevents it from fraying. But there you have it. That is how you are able to use your home printer to print a design, an embroidery design, if you're going to put the fabric in a hoop that is larger than 6 inches. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And other than that, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.